Welcome to Divine Speech in African Traditionalism. I am Augustine Ayinibisah Ayelah. Today, we are going to have both religious and history lessons from an aspect from the Ga-Adangye nation state in the Republic of Ghana. Since African traditionalism is based on the mystery system, it is not easy to explain how an entire population of a nation state can be brought to meditate at the same time for an hour, let alone a day, let alone a month. But this happens in Africa, and that is the mystery system. Nii Akushey Bruce-Quaye is officially over, and we thank our ancestors and the deities for bringing it to a peaceful end. In your capacity as a high priest, please offer some thanks before we can start this conversation.
Thank you for having me. And I will start by saying, Afi na abakwewo. Ba no abeni na wo. Wo fe mo. Alon te din kokura ka fo wote. Wala. Bia wala. Ho wala. Afia ya ne bani na wo.
No time could be more appropriate than this time to have an aspect on the Ga tradition in Ghana to explain to us how that is done. I mean the mystery system. It is even more appropriate because of the fact that the Ga-Adangye people have just completed celebrating Homowo. To put it in perspective for us, what the Ga tradition is all about and why the celebration of Homowo is significant, we have with us Nii Akushey Bruce-Quaye, a high priest of the Ga-Adangye tradition and a historian in his own right. So let us get to it.
The celebration of Homowo dates back at the time when the Ga are living side by side with the Hebrews in the land of Egypt.
Okay.
When the Hebrews came to live in Egypt,
Right.
near the land of Goshen, they lived side by side with the Gans, because from the land of Goshen, they stretch all the way back to the south, along the Nile River. And the Gans were in that particular date living south of the Nile River.
I see.
So the Hebrews were living just all the way to the south and all the way to the north. So as they interacted with the Gans started learning certain things from them. And they started also learning things from the Gans.
Right.
There is a significant coincidence when it comes to what? Cultural things. There's something common between the Gans and the Hebrews.
Okay.
And that is why we're saying there's no doubt in our mind that these people living side by side exchange cultural ideas. They even interacted, and we as Gans also believe that somewhere along the line, they even have children with the Hebrews.
I see.
This part of history can be read vividly in the Bible.
Okay.
Second Exodus.
All right.
From chapter 12 to chapter 19.
Okay.
There it is stated that Yehovah
Okay.
or Yehobile, which in reality is what we call right now the Passover,
Right.
was celebrated by the Hebrews.
Right.
As we all know, during those times, the Hebrews were living in Egypt. They were under severe pressure.
Right.
They were being controlled. They are just slaves to the Egyptians. And Bible tells us that the wrath of God was upon the Egyptians, and God decided that He's going to kill the firstborn of the Egyptians.
Right.
So what happened was that God visited the Hebrews and said, listen, I'm going to pass by every house in Egypt and every house in this land, and I'm going to slay the firstborn of every Egyptian.
Right.
In order to exclude you, my people Hebrews, I would like you to perform this ritual.
Right.
And the ritual was, take a lamb,
Right.
slaughter the lamb, smear the blood on both side posts of the house and at the lintel.
Right.
That way, when I come to visit and there is no blood, I know it's the Egyptian habitation.
Right.
I will come and kill it. So they did as the Lord commanded, and even instructed them at the end of the 7th day or the 8th day, they should eat what? The unleavened bread. Having said this, I grew to see Homowo festival being celebrated by my grandfather and great-grandfather in the same manner as these Hebrews did.
Right.
Instead of blood on the post and the lintel, they use inchuma
Okay.
to represent inchuma
Right.
to represent the blood of the lamb.
Okay.
And then what they do is they eat what? The unleavened bread. You see, the guy eats what called popoi.
Okay.
Popoi.
Okay.
Yes. That is the unleavened bread. And we see, we come to believe that this is true.
Right.
As with the Hebrews, because we did exactly as the Hebrews did during the what? The Passover period.
True.
So it is often believed that as the gods migrated from Egypt along the Nile River down to their present day,
Right.
they always remember this Passover period they celebrated. Because at that time,
Right.
the Lord also spared the lives of the gods who participated in the Passover.
I see.
So Homowo is what we call Yehovah,
Okay.
the Passover celebration of the gods.
I see.
But then again, history tells us that somewhere along the line, as the gods were migrating
Right.
to their present land, there was famine,
Okay.
there was starvation.
Right.
And then they prayed,
Right.
and lo and behold, rain came down. They had plenty to eat.
Right.
So they substituted the Homowo, the Yehovah,
Right.
to what they went through and, had plenty.
It's like you are like a repetition.
A repetition.
Right. Okay.
So instead of Yehovah, they say Homowo,
Right.
which means Wonwa Homohi'i. Hooting at, literally speaking, we're hooting hunger.
Okay.
And this has become the celebration of the gods till now. But then again, I will not talk about Homowo without talking about rituals which go, what we call the divine rituals which go before Homowo festival.
Right.
There are two main rituals
Okay.
which goes with before the Homowo festival. We call it the Shiba
The Shiba.
ritual.
Okay.
And this is performed by the Nii Akushey.
Okay.
Shiba means visiting the land.
All right.
Visiting the land.
land.
In other words, what it is that the Nii Akushey has a small portion of land
Okay.
Called a sacred, what they call garden.
Right.
So during that period, the Shiba period, before Homowo festival, early in the morning,
right,
the woman who is the chief priest, the spiritual leader of the class,
right,
with members of his, what they call throne or hierarchy, will assemble early in the morning.
okay,
And they, early in the morning, they walk
right,
and go and visit this sacred ground,
right,
this sacred garden.
Sure.
With a hoe in his hand,
okay,
he will call some of his members together.
right,
And as the Wolomo gets in there, he will pray and say, before he prays, he just raised the hoe up into the heavens,
okay,
in acknowledgement of the great mighty deity,
right,
God,
right,
Yahweh, Allah.
right,
And when he raises the hoe, he says, Ata Nanimo. Ata Nanimo means what? Ata, male, female God.
right,
That's how God called the mighty deity God, the omnipotent. Ata Nanimo, Faile Bonon,
okay,
we beg of thee.
right,
So he goes, Ata Faile Bonon, Hani no ane, let the rain fall.
my goodness,
Ni ohabo anyo, let all the foggy atmosphere disappear.
there you go,
Ni oha shikmo ajo, let the land become fertile.
there you go,
Ni ma akwe, ma, is grain, akoko.
right,
That is a stable energy, a stable food full of energy and protein.
right,
Let it grow. Ni wana eko waha be kehoy, that we may have to provide for children and even to the unborn.
my goodness,
Wala e wala, wala e wala, wala e wala, biya wala, hoa wala, which means life, abundance of long life,
right,
for children and even to the unborn. Afia ya nibali nawo. Let this year go and come to meet us
there you
in
go,
glory. Chomanyaba. This is a sacred ceremony
right,
which can be interpreted on divine grounds or in divine language to mean that he's gone to prepare a ground
right,
before somebody plants or they cultivate the land, right?
right,
They cultivate the land. After cultivating the land, they pray for rain.
right,
When the rain comes, the land becomes fertile.
at all,
And when it becomes fertile, whatever we grow, the land grows.
Right.
Then we have what? A big harvest.
it's true,
So it's a moment, a sacred moment, where he's actually calling on all the gods.
okay,
Wipe the slate clean and begin anew.
right,
Let us uproot all that is within our heart and soul, which is what? Not conducive for our living.
right,
Let's take it out. And let us prepare our hearts and minds and feeling. Make it so fertile for divine what? Intervention.
there you go,
That is what it literally means. So he does that and go back to his abode
Right.
as a chief priest.
okay,
Then the next ceremony is Maadumo.
Madumo, okay,
Now the field is ready for what? For the planting of.
right,